The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Thursday, the 5th day of October 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. He's Roger Denbrook, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break. Raj, it's Thursday.
It is Thursday. Good morning.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. I mean, I told you I got up, not exactly early today.
Yeah.
I don't know if I look like it. I look functional.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel that way, but we're here. We're here and we're present.
We'll test you out. We'll see how awake you are in a few minutes. Are you? I don't know if I've asked you this before, but are you a person that loves weekends, or you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna make the most of every day?
I'm a whatever kind of person. The weekend is a stupid thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Raj, we've been going there every day this week about this traditional work week. Don't get me started on that. But it's interesting because I had this it came up again in another conversation yesterday, and it's just like, you all think that, I mean, David Burke said to me many years ago, he says, well, Jamal Hartman, you know how he talks. I can't impersonate him.
Jamal.
Laws of bad, right? I'm like, Scott, what it but no, he was trying to tell me not all laws are bad because he felt like I went against everything. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying all laws are bad. There are laws that are there to protect us, especially children and elderly people and women, right? But I said, my point is most laws are archaic, outdated, and we don't care to address them until it impacts us individually. And that's just how life is, really, right? Think about everyone with the Belco thing coming up. People are impacted, individually. So now they want to collaboratively come together. And that's fine. I'm not saying anything about it. But it's the same thing with the traditional work week, right? We should have been fighting back against this for ages. We have lost families. We're losing children because people are spending more time trying to make money to survive than being able to live a life of love with their families.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't think about it like that, the
whole COVID babies are special thing that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that, so like they're super big. So mm-hmm. I have a theory, and it's just a theory at this point. Those babies were doing so well because guess what? They had their mom and dad home.
Yeah.
With them.
Yeah.
That is like the only differentiating factor between those babies and previous and like previous babies in more recent, right before them. I'm not Englishing very well this morning, but yeah, they had their parents like at home with them, and you can't tell me that wasn't a part of why these babies are doing so well.
Yeah, no, I got you, Raj. I got you. And interesting times. I just believe in family over work and every day of the week. Now, again, I believe in people working and making a living. I just believe that traditionally we've got it wrong. But anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Melissa Looby on from the city of Hamilton. We're discussing Taste of Bermuda. So food, all the foodies out there, this is for you. Let's get our placemats on the table, forks and knives, and
warm up our taste buds.
What's those things we put on our thing?
A bib?
Yes, got our bib. You still use a bib, bro?
So today is a really great day today. No, I probably should. I eat like a 5-year-old. I mean, a 3-year-old.
I use a bib, Raj. I use a bib every night, and I have no shame in doing it. I just don't want to mess up my white shirts. Anyway, folks, the Daily Play is a name that place. So Raj was on fire yesterday. He got it one time. You know, it was hot in here, so he got that. So let's see if he's on a roll today. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels. Stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Let's get into today's question. We have a question. Yes, we do. We always have a question. So I think we seem to feel as if we're losing a generation. We speak about this all the time. Now, let me be clear. Growing up, I saw fights in school almost daily, right? But the truth is just because I saw something daily, just because it was normal, doesn't mean it's okay, and it should be a part of our upbringing and our lives and our growth, right? Also, we're in a time now where back then there weren't no video and stuff, right? It's now it's video, it's going viral, it's, you know, it could impact. You know, I was speaking to someone last night and they had just gotten a new job here in the US. Well, they got a job off, I should say. And you know what they told me? This was crazy because I hadn't heard of this. I know that they do it, but hear me out, audience. This person said to me that just waiting on the background check to come back. So hoping it all clears. So I'm like, what the hell they got going on? What did they do in their previous life, right? But all of us need to think on this. So you see how you're getting in a fight, and we know this is not a forgiving world. This is not a forgiving. The first thing we need to admit, this is not a forgiving place that we live in. She said, oh no, they have to, it's not just police and fingerprint checks. They have to check your social media. They go back and check your social media. Now, you all know me. If they go back check my social media, I ain't getting the job. You know, like I'm not getting it. I know who I am. I know what I've said and done. But I found it interesting. And the reason I say that is we're living in very different times. People videoing you, recording you, like taking, you know, something of you when you're not at your best. It might not be helpful. So the question of the morning is, as a community, how can we better support our young people? And Raj, you actually wanted to focus on the youth policy today.
Yeah, because I mean, you have an entire government response right now to this exact issue. I mean, to youth issues. So this is the National Youth Policy, right? I think it was released year before last. Their first working group was put together last year. I know Melissa was in the working group. Our guest today, I was in the working group, sort of wrangled in at the last minute, just helping to support its first iteration. And so the policy has 8 different goals, right? And goal number 3 is explicit to this kind of situation, minimizing antisocial behavior, right? And then the first one, keeping young people safe and protected from harm. Now, we can do that in all kinds of different ways, but we have to understand that the government does have a policy. They're trying to satisfy a platform commitment, I think from a few years ago, actually, to do with young people. So the government is, as a country, we are trying to do something about it. But I think the question is, does the government really have the capacity to address the root causes of these kinds of behaviors? I mean, you made a really, really good point that these kinds of incidents aren't new. I think to give people context, so yesterday or the day before last, there was a fight in Washington Mall, just in the area when you're coming in. I'm not even going to try and describe it, but it was in Washington Mall. It's about 10 to 15 young women. I didn't see a single male in the video, and 2 young women were just going at it, and they were in a day over 13 years old. Now, so I understand that this isn't new, you know, this happens, but when we have young people who are so comfortable disrespecting themselves like that in public, disrespecting a public space, and glorifying violence in that way and celebrating violence, because that's what they were doing. Now, when I was I mean, I guess I'm a bit sheltered. After St. David's Primary, I went to Work Academy.
Yeah, you're sheltered. No, I'm joking.
I would say my home life, but when I was home life, that wasn't sheltered. But school, I was definitely, it was a sanitized environment, right? So you didn't see stuff like that. You didn't see people fighting. If you fought, you're getting expelled from school. Like, it's no suspension, there's none of that. You are out. You are not suitable for this environment, right? So I don't know if that's like a social difference, an economic difference. It's not a racial difference, because we're not even going to go there with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it breaks my heart because to see young people, 12, 13 years old, embodying themselves with violence, thinking that is powerful, thinking that it's something that makes them cool. They're working out because the only reason why they're doing it is because there's social currency in it.
Mm-hmm.
It benefits you somehow to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of seeing young people do it. Afterwards, I got even more videos of things that happened in the last 24 hours. Some kids were out of school in a room duking it out. I don't know if it's fair to say that we're losing a generation, but what I do see is, I would say, you can quantify an uptick in young people who are engaging in antisocial behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same breath, I do think we have experienced a certain breakdown in community in this country in the last 10 years.
Okay.
So instead of letting this train just go on unchecked, what can we start doing as a people to be much more proactive and intentional about building cultures that cultivates the kind of young people who are safe and healthy? Because this ain't it.
I tell you, Raj, I mean, I one of the things I was always into in Bermuda was, finding ways to actually get to know young people, whether it was through mentorship or coaching. I was there. I wasn't a violent person. I probably was a disrespectful child. I didn't. Well, actually, to this day, I don't respect authority if it means just respecting someone just because they're older than you. I say it all the time. I don't respect my elders. I respect people. But I think we have to understand that children are still sponges. Their minds are like sponges, right? 13 is still very young. They haven't, most of them, that's not even a quarter of their lives, right? It's a good time to get in there and help them and support them and find out why. You said something just now about it. Social benefit, right? Has to be some sort of social benefit for them to be fighting and so on. I see an opportunity in this, and I know you all probably going to say, "Oh, Jamal," but there's an opportunity in this. There's boxing, there's kickboxing. Obviously, we're losing children that we don't have as many youth football teams and cricket teams as before. I don't know if schools include, as far as I was told, they don't even have to take gym like we used to take gym, but create these atmospheres where we're offering more, like we're offering kickboxing and boxing and jiu-jitsu and martial art. Like give them an outlet to meet that anger. I think that is possibly a solution to this. Is, you know what, this person hasn't, because from what I know, the benefits of that stuff is not to really beat up other people. It's the discipline in each of those things. You don't just, I mean, I did one kickboxing class and I ain't going back. I'm just going to be honest. They said, no, I'll watch YouTube and do it myself. Ain't nobody hitting my pretty face. But anyway, there's a discipline to it. It's not just about throwing punches and kicking, right? And I honestly think, audience, you may disagree, but I think that there's an opportunity in seeing young people be violent towards one another and saying, you know what? Come here. It's like a drug dealer. People used to say, if a drug dealer can be out there on the street selling what they sell all day, they can go work for sales for somebody's company and do something legit. So I believe there's an opportunity to turn this violence into something prosperous for our young people.
And I think we really do need to sit down as individuals and reflect. And I think ask ourselves two questions. Like, is these moments, these instances of youth violence indicative of something culturally with us? I mean, it's a simple question. I think people need to ask themselves. But then we also need to ask ourselves, if it is indicative of something cultural, which I think it is, what role are you playing in it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I'm going to say something, I hope it doesn't offend anybody, but I feel like I have a certain level of latitude because I'm a parent. But whenever I see my girls doing something that I don't like, which isn't often because they're angels, but when they do it, the first thing I ask myself is, what have I done? I never, ever, ever go, where in the world did you learn that? What are you doing? It's like, no. What have I done? Because I am probably the strongest influence in your life. And if you're doing something so outrageously divergent from my values and how beautiful you are as a person and who you can be,
Mm-hmm.
where has the breakdown taken place? And then when they have done those things, the few and far between times they've done it, what do? I sit down and talk to my kids. How many of us really sit down and get into our children's worlds and respect their intellectual and emotional lives? You know, people say about my kids, they communicate so well. They communicate so well and they take responsibility for themselves because we've been doing it before they were even born, right? Talking to them in the room, going, you are a person. You are valuable. I love you. That's going to program them. So they come out with that. And you're raising them like that consistently. So now when they're older, they're now going, okay, when I ask them a question, they can communicate with me. They can reflect. And I join my children in their world. How many of us really do that in Bermuda? Do we really have a culture where we respect, love, and support our young people? Or do we have a culture where it's just, you're a young person, you don't know what you're talking about, go do your thing. So you're going to do something antisocial to experience some sort of community and some sort of power.
Yeah, it's crazy, and credit to you for how you explain that you work and parent your daughters. Audience, as a community, how can we better support our young people? That's the question. And Michelle White, she says, I think youth are looking to be seen, no matter the price, by their peers or by public. One question is, what are they missing in their life? How many times do we walk past young people not engaging? Now, it's interesting because, growing up, you as a child, you always spoke and respectfully acknowledged people on the street, right? I don't know if that's what she's referring to, but how do you, what about that second part? She said, Raj, what are they missing in their life where they have to seek this sort of time? Now, keep in mind, we live in a social media age, the Instagram age, where, I'm pretty sure 90% plus people on Instagram are perpetrating at this point. I mean, we talked about it the other day. How many people are really showing, all of them, right? They're showing the good parts, and that's probably like 5% of their lives. But saying that, what are they missing? What are these people missing in their lives?
Connection. And I really think at the end of the day, and I even used myself when I was a young person, I was acting out, but I wasn't acting out. That's very kind. Thank you, Mr. Daniels. I was doing stuff. I was doing like self-harm stuff, not to, make it all dark and gloomy. It's like I wasn't acting out, like going out into the community and doing stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the root cause for all of those things is connection. When you feel connected to somebody who loves you, people who have your back, no matter what, you're not going to do those things because you have an inherent, like, again, and I'll use my babies as an example. If one of them came home one day, and they had a video where they were hooking in ton, I'm going to be flat, like, what is this? Because I know, just like, there's nothing in them where they need to act out to satisfy something in them. Now, I'm not even say, right? I'm not raising punks.
Well, I was going to say, is it because you teach them how to defend themselves? But no, seriously though, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think that's also a legitimate statement because maybe in that video, maybe that one of the young women, she was being genuinely assaulted, and she's like, okay, now I need to defend myself. Now in that situation,
Yeah.
you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But you know what, when you're doing it to feel powerful, to feel and also the power of an audience. There were at least 10 other girls there with their phones out.
Jumping up and down and celebrating. And
Right.
but I went, George, I wanted to cut you off. You said powerful. You know, they want to feel powerful. There was a video going around about 2 weeks ago. I guess a gentleman's landlord was changing the locks on his on the house that he was in, and the gentleman, I guess, who was the tenant, seemed to be calling the landlord all sorts of names, the F word to refer to sexuality, cussing him out, saying you're supposed to be a church man, this and that. And I spoke to a couple of people about it, and one of the things that everyone agreed on is, in anger, he sounded so powerless. Right? He was using this language. I mean, you use certain language when you come, like you come across as if you actually feel hopeless, right? And I know you said, you know, it gives them the idea to, you know, feel powerful, to get in a fight, to win, and, you know, get a level of respect amongst their peers or whatnot. This has been happening for donkey's years, Raj. Like, I mean, again, I witnessed. I know you ran Work Academy. I went Cedar Bridge first. I went Cedar Bridge the first year. When I was in Cedar Bridge, that first day, I mean, the media, right? The media hype around Cedar Bridge. Oh, putting all these children in, almost like you're putting all these animals in one cage, they're going to fight, right? That's how the media came across, right? And as children, you're soaking this up. What happens the first day? 1997, September, fights broke out all over the school, right? So fights have happened. They've always happened. I think the biggest thing right now is using what we learned to teach young people there is a better way. I don't care if it's always happened. You know, it's like saying, oh, well, men have always treated their wives like this. Women have always been in the kitchen. So what? That doesn't mean that it's okay. That doesn't mean it's right. I think we need to use these, you know, our experiences to ensure that the next generation has better experiences. And better doesn't mean giving them what they don't need. It doesn't mean showering them and pampering them and babying them. No, it doesn't mean any of that. We just need to find ways to ensure that they are learning from our experiences that they don't need to go through. They don't have to deal with the consequences to do better and live better. Let's go to the audience. As a community, how can we better support our young people? Traveling Trotty says, community engagement and involvement are essential in creating a nurturing environment for our youth. What does that look like? What does community engagement look like?
I think when you mentioned programs, I think youth programming is probably the strongest thing you can probably do. You mentioned athletic programs. Obviously, my background is more in arts and culture. The transformative power of the arts with young people is something that's been documented and talked about for decades. But just even on a cultural level, I mean, Miss White, she actually made this really wonderful point earlier. I walk past and say good morning, even if they are not looking at me. So the book that I showed you yesterday, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. In the introduction of it, she talks about this example where she's hearing her son getting into a fight outside, and that's not like her son. So she goes outside. She was like, hey, what's going on? And one of the boys were like, he looked at me. She's like, wait a second, you're fighting my son because he looked at you. So it's the gauge, right? So, but she compared it to specific African tribe, and they say, I see you, as their greeting. So it's this direct contrast where you're looking in somebody's eyes and going, hey, I see you. You are part of my community. That's how they greet each other too. When you look at me and I feel connection, I want to fight you. Right? We've lost something there. So I have some young men in my neighborhood. They ain't a day over 13, 14 years old. They're looking rough, you know, they're walking around. It's like a group of 10 of them always walking around. They never speak to anybody or anything. But when they walk past my house, I speak. I let them know, like, hey, I see you, like, good afternoon. And now when they're walking across the house, they hail me up. They're like, damn, bro, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Mhm.
So I think as a community, outside of programs and whatnot, we just need to make our young people feel seen at the very, very least.
Let me go through these comments before we bring Maya in. As far as what they were missing, Raj, you said connection. Ebony Sue said it's a perfect answer, Raj. A connection to their people, their culture, their purpose and strengths. Disconnecting is equally important. I think that goes back to what Rashida Godwin's saying. There is a disconnection to all of that. Michelle White says, I said it before, when I was a youth, my friend set another friend on me. I knew I had to end it in one punch. I have all brothers. Why they did that? All for their fun. Michael Daniels says, parents are God to young people, right? And then Rosalind Famous says, this may also be an opportunity to interview young members of our community and hear what's on their mind. I want to just say this real quickly. I follow 2 Jamaican outlets on Twitter, Jamaica Gleaner, and it's what's the other one? The Jamaica Gleaner and The Observer. And last week, and this is to anyone who says, it's just a fight, it happens all the time. Dr. Ewart Brown once said back in the 2009-10, when the murders start happening, shooting murders, he said something to the effect, and not a direct quote, that when asked, will it impact tourism, said, no, Jamaica has one of the highest murder rates in the world. And it was a sad response to me, because it was like, almost like, oh, okay, it's just murder, it happens. And my thing was, like anything, if you don't got a grasp on it, it's going to spread, right? If you don't treat it. As I was reading the Jamaican Gleaner last week, I came across a story where a schoolboy was beaten unconscious for stepping on fellow students' clocks. I guess clocks are very important shoes in Jamaica. And he was beaten unconscious, and that student's now charged. If we look at this as it's just fights, we will enter a space that is very unsafe, not just for the students, but for the entire community. Just because it's been happening, just because there's no gun, knife, or weapons involved, I think we might be a little foolish to act as if it's just a fight. Speaking from experience and understanding, when we don't get a grip on things, we need to be very careful with that. I'll go through one more comment before we bring Maya Palacio in for the news break. Being willing to listen and provide outlets and activities. Growing up, I played basketball and played for the youth national team at Sands. I would always go speak to Mr. Truck because he listened. Having educators that are also mentors is extremely important. Let's bring Maya Palacio in. Don't forget, we've got Melissa Looby on from the city of Hamilton. We're talking about Taste of Bermuda. Are you a foodie, Raj?
I do love food.
Okay, all right. Raj is a foodie. We'll see if he's a foodie too. All right, stick with us, folks. Got news break coming up with Maya Palacio.
Good morning, good morning.
Greetings, Madonna. How are you?
I'm feeling okay this morning. You guys, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Are you a foodie?
I eat, yeah.
Are you a foodie?
Oh, I mean, we're happy that you eat, Maya. You need food. Yeah. Like, what would you say is your favorite dish?
I'm gonna throw it back to, like, I remember middle school days or birthdays, whatever. I always asked for mozzarella sticks. That was like, I don't know, that was just everything to me. And then it became nachos for a very long time.
What's your favorite snack thing, Raj?
Ooh, I like curries.
Really, like me?
Yeah, I like curries, and the spicier the better. I like it to hurt a little bit.
Okay.
I want it to be cleared out afterwards. I want to be able to breathe.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, okay. Now I was a chicken wing guy, but I am. I don't know. I'm obsessed with Jamaican cuisine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you cook?
What I eat.
Wait, what? I didn't understand that answer.
What I eat. Like, if I cook what I like to eat. I'm not. If you come over talking about you want something that I don't eat, I probably won't cook it.
Oh, well, that's fine. But you do. But like the stuff. Have you ever tried cooking like a Jamaican dish? Have you ever tried?
Yes. I mean, I try to share it with my college friends. Right? Maya don't laugh, but I'm. It was supposed to be curry chicken. It looked like porridge. That was my first attempt.
Okay.
We've got to start somewhere.
But after that, I've been known to be when it comes to Korean. I make some mean jerk chicken. Don't worry.
Oh, snap.
I'll send you some pictures.
All right.
You got to marinate it for 2 days. Okay, we got Maya's got news about my jerk chicken.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Starting off the news this morning, something you probably don't want to hear, but it kind of relates to what we're talking about, actually. So a 55-year-old male had been attacked by a group of men, one of them being armed with a knife. This happened around 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday, October the 3rd. Police responded to a report of a robbery, which occurred in the car park of Mr. Chicken in Somerset Road in Sands. Upon police arrival, it was discovered that the victim sustained multiple injuries in the attack, including lacerations to his face and his arm. One of the suspects is described as being a tall, brown-skinned male who is alleged to have taken a quantity of jewelry, cash, and a mobile phone from the injured man. The other 3 suspects were dressed in dark clothing. Following the attack, the 4 suspects made good their escape in the direction of Cambridge Road. The victim was assisted by members of the public and later transported to the hospital. He was receiving treatment for his injuries, which are considered non-life-threatening at this time. And police are asking for anyone who may have seen something, knows something, reach out and contact them.
I may have missed it. They said 4 young men or 4 men, but did they give ages?
It's 4 in total. No, they did not give ages. They only gave the description of one, which is tall and brown skin.
I didn't hear about that story, but definitely aligns with what we're talking about today, right? You don't got a handle on violence. It becomes this. It really does.
Yep. Now, you may recall that last year in October of 2022, the government announced its mortgage guarantee program. It's supposed to be a joint venture with the Bermuda Commercial Bank designed to make home ownership more affordable for many Bermudians. I know this is actually the month where we highlight homelessness in Bermuda. So let's take a look at this initiative. There's a quick video just explaining a bit about it. So let's take a look.
With this program, the government guarantees a portion of each residential mortgage, and in return, the bank agreed to offer approved applicants a reduced interest rate starting at 5% and reduce the down payment from 20% to 10%. So what does all this mean in terms of savings? A simple example based on industry averages would see a person applying for a $600,000 mortgage traditionally be required to make a $120,000 down payment. However, under the Mortgage Relief Program, the borrower would see the requirement cut in half and would also see a significant reduction in their monthly repayments.
So, this is a whole different topic. I don't know how any of you feel on this, but I've always felt this way. I've argued with people on this show and the audience about it. Home ownership is not an achievement. Let me say that again. Home ownership is not an achievement. Having children is not an achievement. Getting married is not an achievement. What we do for others, that's the achievement. The American dream is a nightmare, not a dream at all for those who can't afford it. If a bank owns you for 30 years, I don't care what mortgage program's there. You don't own no damn house. Many of us will never even get to live the lives we want. We were talking earlier about, work 8-hour work week, 5 days a week. Well, you think you're working enough then. Think about after a couple of years when that rate changes and, shifts happen in the workspace. I just want to say to people, home ownership is not what they sell you. I guarantee you it's not. I guarantee you. No, if you are in a space where you can afford it, go for it. But do not fall into this thing where you think it's some sort of generational wealth. Because the examples are in Bermuda looking at you in your face. Home ownership is not generational wealth. It's not even a component of generational wealth. Look at the derelict homes in Bermuda. If you can afford it, you go for it. I'm not an expert. I'm just simply saying we have enough. We just spoke about enough examples we lived through that we can help young people. There's enough examples for all of us to really reconsider home ownership and if it's something all of us should be destined for. Some people will be able to do it, others won't. But just be very cautious when these things come out. It's okay to rent. You'll probably live a better life If you have a partner, it may be easier. But I'm just something about this. I just want people to be very, because most people, I don't want to pay rent, pay somebody else's mortgage. Keep thinking like that and compare your life to somebody else who's purchased a home. A house is a liability if you're not making money on it. And that's what we all need to understand. It's not the asset we were taught and told it is. It's a liability if you're not making money on it. Asset, liability. Class dismissed.
Well, not quite. Still got the news to go. So in addition, the Premier and the Minister of Finance, the Honorable David Brett, actually said that from the Mortgage Guarantee Program, they've actually had over a dozen young people, he says, provided with their first homes already, and they're expecting, dozens more in the coming months. And if you are someone who is interested in home ownership or just seeking options, looking for, whether or not this is the right path for you and your family, you could call 295-5678 or go on bcb.bm to find out more about this program.
Do you know what the average price of a home in Bermuda is right now?
Do you want me to look that up or?
Oh no, I'm wondering. Do you know, Raj? Audience, can anyone tell us? No,
I can say my mother was looking for homes recently. I would say it's very difficult. It depends on what you're looking for. If it's a condominium or an actual home, depending if it's brand new, like it can go way up further than the millions, like 1.5 million, whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the average home is, and then compare that with the average income, and then just really see what the numbers actually are. Because Thank you, Maya.
No problem. Because I'm telling you, my family, my aunt's pretty always on that property skipper stuff, and like looking at the prices, they vary so strongly because of like how structural the buildings are, how much work you're gonna have to put in there afterwards. It's a huge disparity, but it's up there. In other news, as we know, as I mentioned on the news before, that the Dr. Eva Naomi Hudson Racial Justice Award ceremony is approaching. It's the first one ever. And I actually got to speak to the executive director, Stacey Lee Williams, about the upcoming event, but also about just what CURB is doing. And I asked one particular question I was curious to know about is if you are a CEO or someone high up in the industry, how should they go about trying to, address racism in their businesses. So here's something that she said as the answer. So if any business person or CEO is watching this interview, like what would you say are some like first steps to take in terms of like eliminating racism within their industry?
I would suggest an equity audit, and we can assist with that. So to poll your employees to see how they're actually feeling, to see how they're connected, as it relates to anti-racism or anti-discrimination period. Like poll your organization. Also, once you have some feedback from that, then strategize, and we can help you with that as well. But strategize on what's that action plan to stamp out some of these disparities that may be happening within your organization. Have some of those difficult conversations. And also train yourselves first, like train the leadership first, so that you can adequately communicate with your staff or your employees to show that you are serious about doing this or stamping out this.
So real quickly, that's the Dr. Eva Hudson recognition, or would you say?
Yes, it's acknowledging all of her efforts here in Bermuda, and also acknowledging people who have been activists since she's passed in 2020. And so it's going to be awards or nominations given to people who have done things within activism and trying to stamp out racial injustice in Bermuda since her passing.
I'm gonna be honest. I really do miss reading her articles. She was a phenomenal person, and we really keep losing people like that without replacing them fully. So I hope I encourage anyone with the intellect and the fight that she had. Please keep standing up. We need your voices. We need your action. We need you.
Yeah. And in my interview with Miss Stacey, she said that about 30 people were actually nominated for the awards some people will nominate more than once as well. But if anyone's interested in being at the ceremony, seeing the awards and understanding what Next Initiatives Curbs is actually trying to have an impact on the island, like this is big thing coming up with the institutions and schools that they're bringing forward, and I'll be bringing you that news on the day that it happens. But the ceremony and the banquet will take place on October 21st, 6 p.m. at Pier 6, and you can get tickets at ptix.pm.
Alrighty.
All right. Now, closing out my news, I did want to throw in some sports in there. I know we talked about the T20 Cricket World Cup, but here's some statistics if you didn't already see them before. Just where Bermuda's standing right there, the standards right now, and how our team's looking. We also have a game tomorrow versus the Cayman Islands again. Just a little bit from the players here. Bowling averages, you see Bermuda at the top there with Derek Brinkman. So bring up to Derek Brinkman there. And then also some runs. We got Camille Laverack right at the top there as well. And some other Bermudian names in there too, like Dalway Rollins. And those standings are shorter, shift and move as the game tomorrow happens. So,
just want to say I taught Derek everything he knows, so happy to see him top of those bowling stats and all. But no, I'm excited, man. It's like with the young ladies in football, I'm still impressed with that. Forget her name. That hit that left-footed shot outside the box, and she's not even left-footed. I'd like to say I taught her, but my left foot I could just about walk on it, let alone kick. But anyway, with the ladies and then the guys doing this on an international level, every day I've realized something that Maya's done. You don't realize almost every day you've talked about sports, we have athletes doing something on the international stage or these different games and so on. That's impressive for the size of country that we have. So I'm excited that you always find a way to include that in the news. And I hope people take note of that. So let's keep going. Let's support them. I think there's supposed to be some storm interrupting our winnings this weekend.
Yeah, we got a lot of cloudy rain showers more frequently. Still have that tropical warning coming through. Some chance of thundering actually today as well. So, high gust of winds too. So be safe out there. Everyone might think about bordering up. Just be prepared because, yeah, it's getting windy out there today.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, look, they're supposed to have a little, not a little, sorry. I take that back. They're supposed to have a major disruption tomorrow morning, but it looks like the storm will be raining on the parade with that. Roger, you got some days of the year for us?
Yes, today is Do Something Nice Day.
Oh
my goodness, is that gonna? Okay, sorry. I know that probably is going to be very difficult for you, but Maya, it's Do Something Nice Day.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Interpret it and do something nice for somebody. Why does this? It's not rocket science.
I mean, I'm
Get somebody a coffee. Did you see a homeless person? Give them $5. I don't know. Just do something nice.
I always do something nice. Gee, I mean, okay. Maybe I'll go get my neighbor some sugar.
What's today? October 5th? Let me look and see if Bermuda's Love has anything good on today. Look at that. October 5th, today, 7 p.m. You can go to the Poverty in Paradise screening. It's a free movie screening at BUEI. That's something nice. Helps you learn.
I agree. I like how you did that, Maya.
Oh, it's World Teachers Day as well. Thank you, Traveling Shawty.
You know what?
That's way better. Happy World Teachers Day.
It's World Teachers Day.
Do something nice for your teacher there.
Well, let's ask audience. Let us know who your favorite teacher was. Maya, who was your favorite teacher?
It's always going to be Candace. Candace Darrell. Big up Candace. Like, she really switched my life around, because I know we talked about the arguments and the fights from the young ladies this morning, but I'm being straight up. Like, I fought in middle school, and there's probably videos of it somewhere, but I wasn't the person I want to be. And I know someone in the audience said that teachers really do help us. And it's unfortunate that not every single student can have that special bond with the teacher. Not every teacher can give it to every single student, because it's only one teacher to 20 plus students in the class. So I feel very fortunate, very lucky to have, built such a strong bond with Candace, because she taught me that I can be more than one thing, and that I don't have to be this person that I thought I had to be to survive or whatever. So she taught me a lot. She brought me out of whatever I was going through as a child. So I really wouldn't be who I am without Candace Darrell.
I love that. Well, who was your favorite teacher, Raj?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Me too. But I would say the teacher that's always memorable. I have not seen her since I left State Bridge. She was named Joanne Tucker Smith. I don't know if it was favorite, because I never liked school enough to have a favorite, right? But as far as influential, I think she was, because she was the one that really said you should try radio. And that was, I was 15, so I kind of went that route, but I think she was influential. She made me like writing in my last year of high school, and I did a research paper on Rastafarianism versus Christianity. And so using the skills in that one class helped me a lot. You know, it helped me a lot through life. But that said, if I had a favorite, it'll probably be Dana Lightbourne, who was at Bermuda College. I don't know if she's still there, but I had to, you know, I wasn't the smartest apple on the tree. So to get into graduate school, I had to do a class at Bermuda College. And she made statistics seem so easy to me that I couldn't believe I got a C in this in college. Like it was like she was one of the best. And I wish I had more educators like her when I was in, you know, primary and high school, but it would be her. So the audience has, they have quite a few. Marva Allen, Miss Marva Allen was a mathematics teacher at Berkeley. We've had Rosemary Phillips, his mom. And then we've got Melanie Scanlon and Philip Chop were my favorite teachers. Is that all, Philip Chop? My goodness, somebody liked him. Anyway, Ebony Caesar says, Mrs. Harris, West Pembroke, Mrs. Coddington, CVA. Charles H. Jefferson II says Helene Stevenson. Oh, I wonder if that's related to Helene. Marcus C. Phillips says Miss Simmons at Francis Patton. We've got Dale Butler and Llewellyn Trott from Huddling Swan. And then we've got Mrs. Richardson, Karen Simmons. We've got Miss Horton, bookkeeping, the other grand, Lucinda Mabry. Oh, wow, you all had a lot of favorite teachers, man. Joanne Tucker Smith influenced me when I was teaching and training, says Emily Gildill. Yeah, I have not seen her since. I have not seen her. Charmaine Richardson says, Jamel, Dana was good. We were in the same class. Were we? Oh. See, I know somebody. Anyway, look, let's run. We've got a guest, and we're running very late, folks. We're very late this morning. But, Rod, you still haven't figured out who your favorite teacher was? Wow, Maya, let's leave him alone.
Sit with that one, Rod.
I really hope I don't have a teacher watching right now. I hope I don't have a teacher watching right now going, I wasn't his favorite teacher. I really hope. And if you are, I apologize.
Maya, he didn't like him. He didn't like him. Maya, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Welcome back to the big show. Roger Denbrook. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, let's bring our guests in for the day. Let's give a warm TDH. Oh, you like food. You said you like food. Audience, you love food, and you're going to tell us your favorite foods, and we're going to hope that Melissa tells us some of your favorite vendors are present at this year's Taste of Bermuda. Let's welcome Melissa Looby from the city of Hamilton. Warm TDH, welcome. Calm down. The food's not even defrosted. Let the food defrost first, Raj. Let it defrost. They got to defrost it before they cook it. Melissa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning? I'm great.
I'm fine. Roger's a bit excited. He's hungry, so
Listen, we're talking about taste thing. I got the name wrong, because Melissa's gonna tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Taste of Bermuda.
What is Taste of Bermuda? What's it all about? What's the weekend all about?
So Taste of Bermuda is literally Bermuda's premier food festival, bringing you all things Bermudian, all things local vendors, and some amazing experiences for the weekend. So taking place next weekend, October 13th to 15th, we have a range of events happening that does a great deal to highlight Bermudian cuisine. And this year, our 10th year, we're doing a lot to focus on what's available from locals for locals in the food and hospitality space.
I love to hear that. What's available for locals from locals? So you mentioned you got a lot of events taking place next weekend. What kind of events? Well, talk to us, because I remember, I believe this was the event. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and I hope I don't sound silly, but I swear there was a nice table on Front Street, and it looked really fancy, and people were sitting around that. Raj, you and I didn't get an invite, but hopefully we can make the list one day. But tell us about the events you got coming up.
Awesome. So yes, that was last year, the first year that we had that. That's the Front Street Formal. You're referring to the long dinner table on Front Street. But yeah, before that, I mean, we kicked the weekend off, and it actually starts on Friday. So the Friday, October 13th, from 6 to 11 at Pier 6. We'll be hosting, along with our partners for this event, Bacardi, we're hosting our Set the Bar cocktail competition. And that's where we highlight some of Bermuda's up and coming, and some that have been on the scene for a while, but they come out and they give you a show. They create their own premium cocktails. We have judges that join us to judge the beverages. As an attendee, you get to actually sample all of the beverages for the evening. And then there are two opportunities. The judges will obviously give their take on who wins the actual competition, but then we also allow the crowd to choose a fan favorite and deem somebody the People's Choice winner for the evening. So that's the Friday, and that really does a great deal. A huge thanks to our sponsor for this, Bacardi, who are doing a lot in the hospitality sector when it comes to bartending and the Shake Your Future program. So we actually, for the first time, I'm pretty excited about this. This is the first time we have female competitors in the event in our 10th year. So it's great to see the evolution of the bartending scene and a few young faces and new faces to the event this year. So it's really going to be an amazing one. And, on top of the actual competition itself, City of Hamilton always likes to put its own little touch on everything. So there'll be, the food experience will start that night as well. We'll actually have a mashtini bar that will be a complimentary mashtini bar. And this is a play on a mashed potato buffet. So that's going to be fun. All the trimmings, anything you could think of will be available. Different types of mashed potatoes, all served in martini glasses. And unfortunately, if you don't have your tickets for this, they flew once again. So it is sold out. But
you know what? You all missed the boat. You can't wait just till they come on the Daily Hour. You've got to follow them on social media and stuff. If you have any questions or comments for Melissa, please put them in there. We'll get through as many as possible. But I love the sounds of this. I just think, I know it's for everyone, but it sounds so formal and like another level based on what we're seeing in Bermuda. I look at the pictures every year. It's an incredible event. I'm happy that it's continuing for a 10th year. Okay, Rod, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I want some mashed potatoes out of a martini glass. Different. That's the pinnacle of culinary excellence right there. Let me stop it. No, but it sounds legitimately cool. Because I love that you said it's from locals for locals. Like what's here to use? Because right down from the house for me is St. David's Seafood. Like it's tucked away at the back of St. David's, but that food's going to be fire. And it's the tastiest seafood. I absolutely love it. So who are some vendors we can expect to see at the festival?
I'm happy you brought that up. Yeah, what I love about this. So this is I just started with the city a few months ago, and so this is my first go around with these events. But that's been part of the the beautiful part about planning this event is, uncovering some of the quote unquote hidden gems that are out there in terms of the cuisine. So we'll have, oh man, you're making me think about who we have. There is quite a list. Let me pull it up so I do not try to miss out some important ones. So, of course, we have Ashley's Lemonade joining us. We have Bermuda Biscuits, Bermuda Cupcake Company, Bermuda Trail Mix, the Gingerbread Man. We'll have fresh fruits and vegetables available as well with Dill Pickle Farming. Some of our favorites like Dutch Pops, Fluffy Stuff. Glam Pop will be on the scene. A huge shout out to Amani's Cookie Company, who's going to be joining us, and he's doing some amazing things that he'll be sharing on his platforms over the next couple of weeks. Jazzy Treats, George's, Loquat Roots, Mixie's Bermuda, Novelties, Santiani's Mini Pancakes, So Not Sharing, Spot Restaurant will be with us, the At Home Bakery, the Cloud Time Restaurant, Trini Spice, Uplift, Wacky Waffle Bar. We have, it's about over 35 vendors so far that have registered for the event and will be joining us on Front Street. So it's going to be a blast. It will be a blast.
Oh my goodness, it sounds like it. Jamel, Wacky Waffles, man.
I never had them, man. I want some.
I didn't even know we had a Wacky Waffles up in here doing wacky things with waffles.
That's disgusting.
He does want his waffles.
People are wild, Melissa, like the wild. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I haven't tried it. I got my tickets for the white party. I'm looking forward to the experience. I mean, our audience, we love to eat. We love to eat.
I love that.
Wait. We're going to have a white party for a food festival?
So let me tell you, we haven't even talked about Saturday yet, right? So Saturday is when I tell you, we had people messaging. I started with the city, I think March or April. Those were some of the first emails that I received. Run a tickets going on sale for the white party. Did I miss the tickets? What happened? What's going on with the white party? When I tell you how quickly the first day that we released tickets for the white party, half of them flew out the door before the end of that day. And I think we were sold out by the end of the week. So the Front Street Formal, for those who don't know, we literally take over Front Street and we close it down for Saturday. And we set the longest dinner table on Front Street. And we just create an ambiance for our white party. So this is taking place on Saturday, October 14th from 7 to 10 p.m. And this year we did introduce something new so that we could give everybody a glimpse of what they hope to get a ticket to next year by introducing a short after party where you can come out and dance in the streets with us on the Saturday night. And I have to tell you, we got the privilege of doing the pre-tasting for this as we created the menu for the evening. And again, you guys are in for a treat this evening on the Saturday evening. There'll be grilled jack local fish with a mango plankton salsa and fresh salted corn tortillas. And that's just the canapes. So I definitely read through what the menu is offering for the night. It's an amazing menu, 3-course menu. And then there will be wine pairings that are going with that is complimentary of our partners at Boris Lightborn. And the food isn't just the part of the experience. This is what we do call a multi-sensory experience. And there is so much to do. I think last year, the feedback was that so many people didn't realize how much there was to do on the night of. So if you were lucky enough to get your tickets to the event, please make sure that you come early, make sure that you walk up and down the event because there is honestly so much to do just besides the amazing meal you'll get. We have an adult fun castle and photo booth. We have a string quartet that's going to kick the night off for us. We have an aerialist that'll be doing a champagne pour. We have body art available, which is henna and actual tattoos that will be taking place with Zen body art. We have cigar rolling that'll happen on Front Street. And then in terms of the live entertainment, we, of course, welcome back the Wall Street Band for the party and DJ Rusty G. And for that after...
Rusty is in the party.
Rusty, yes. We are calling it... I had a conversation one time. He did this party and he couldn't understand why he was so sore the next day. His body was just hurting. And when he started reposting the videos of himself from the day before, it was what I called Rusty Rubik's. He was literally leading a dance class. So I asked for his permission, and we did coin the term Rusty Rubik's. We want you to join us for Rusty Rubik's on Front Street
All
for
right.
the after party.
Rusty Rubik's.
Yes.
Right.
So that's the after party, and even the after party is not just it's a small continuation of the actual Front Street Formal, where you can enjoy the elements of the Front Street Formal. We're not going to break that down. You get to enjoy some of the decor and everything else that's happening. Rusty will still be with us, but then we're also going to host a dessert parade for this, where we'll actually have our servers given an amazing experience with some desserts for that evening and a few other surprises, but I won't share those ones. Those tickets are still available. So we are encouraging people to remember that Front Street, City of Hamilton in general, even though we do close down Front Street for the weekend, it's still open. It's still accessible. So you can still get out to all of the restaurants that are open along Front Street and book a table. We're encouraging, especially with the after party tickets still being available, we're encouraging people to make a night of it. Really come out and patronize some of the restaurants along Front Street. Bermudians love to spectate. This is this is prime viewing for spectating. So come out. You can come out, book a table at one of the terraces, get yourself an after party ticket, and just enjoy some of the white party ambiance with us on the
Just
Saturday.
remind people where they can go to get information.
Absolutely.
Tickets and the
So
event.
for tickets and some of the information, and just to see, unfortunately, what you might be missing this year, so you make sure you get your tickets for next year, head on over to ptix.bm and look for the Front Street Formal After Party. You can get tickets for that event on PTix. And then in general, of course, if you're ever looking for information about anything that the city's doing, you can head over to cityofhamilton.bm.
All right, Melissa, thank you. We have Rosalind Famous. She says, I want to find out more about the biscuits, Bermuda biscuits. She sounds, and she says, sounds like a great event. Look, Roger is mouse over there watering, his dribbling over there.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to contain myself.
I'm actually absolutely excited that you're continuing to put these events on. I know that with Bermuda Tourism, they're doing a lot of different events, Swizzle and so on. And I guess putting you on the spot, what makes this event different from something like the Seafood Festival and so on? And I say that because a question did come through and just say, I hope it's better than having to wait in line or running out of food and stuff like that. Like what's going to make it a bit different to get people out to ensure a better experience?
Absolutely. Well, I do think events of this magnitude, it's pretty difficult to execute events like this. So I do give a shout out to everybody that is doing what they can in the event space to put on high caliber events. That's the one thing. But in terms of the city standard, what I can say is that I've long been a fan, long before working with the city, I've long been a fan of the work that they do and the level and expectation level that they set in terms of what they want the people of Bermuda to experience when they come to our events. So what makes these events unique is that I do, when it comes to what is happening with niche events like vegan festival, seafood festival, those are very particular. And that's great as well, because those have a space and they need to be explored. For us, this is just solely about something that's for everybody, getting everybody out to these events and giving everybody something to be excited about. The other piece of these is that, when it comes to executing our events, we've had some feedback as well. And whatever the event is, we always do encourage the public. We actually ask for it. We always send out surveys asking people what their experience was and what we can do better. So one of the things that we did explore last year was we have a token system that we use for this. And the token system is important to us because the focus for this event is that you get to come out and explore food experiences and food vendors that you never heard of, or you didn't know existed, or you just have never thought to try it. And to give you that experience and to give the vendors the experience to engage with you directly without having to worry about that added piece that comes with how to collecting change and having a cashier and giving you exact change and that whole end of the interaction, that we can take that off their plate. So some of the feedback we did have was around the token system. So I'm happy you asked that question, because one of the highlights as I go into the Sunday event is that we actually introduced pre-sales tokens this year, where people can actually go onto PTix. Those aren't sold out either. You can go onto PTix and pre-purchase your tokens for the Tasting Village event. And you can come to City Hall and pick those up between Tuesday and Thursday of next week. And you can skip the line. You have your tokens in hand, you have everything you need to at least get started, and you can just come to the event and go right to your favorite food vendors and start to sample what is available for the day. So I definitely want to highlight that. The pre-sales for those events, for the tokens, does end on Monday. So I'm encouraging everybody to please go on, and if you are going to pre-purchase your token, please do that before the end of day of Monday. And then anytime between 10 and 4 from Tuesday to Thursday, you can come to City Hall reception to collect your tokens to enhance your experience on the field.
Sounds like it's going to be a weekend of fun activities, folks. Get out there, get your tickets. Melissa, thank you. Thank you to your team at the city. All the best at the event. And I want to see some pictures and some food.
Absolutely. And I guess one more thing I do want to mention, when it comes to the Tasting Village event on the Sunday, also come out and be ready to vote for your favorite vendor. So we do have a prize that is going to happen for that event, where your favorite vendor can win a grill that is valued at about $4,000. So you come out, you scan a QR code, and you vote for what we call Best of the Fest. And that's a great opportunity to show the vendors, your favorite vendors, that you really appreciate what they're doing. And then, of course, I always want to wrap up by sending a shout out to the City of Hamilton team, who are always working feverishly to make sure that the city can bring you events like these, and really just always continuously offer a welcoming space.
Sounds good. Melissa Looby, City of Hamilton. Melissa, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, folks. Do not go anywhere. If you appreciated that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a quick break, come back, Daily Play, and give our final thoughts on today's show. Stick with us.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
Righty, thanks again to Melissa Looby and the City of Hamilton. Taste of Bermuda 2023 happening next week, folks. If you appreciated the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you get your tickets to be a part of something special. They do it, and they do it well at the corporation, City of Hamilton. Thanks again to the BAC Group, Medical House, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we're able to have these conversations on a daily basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Raj, are you ready?
As ready as I'm going to be.
All right, Raj, here we go. Apples, it's a name that place, folks. Apples originated in what country?
Oh, this is a good one. I don't know the ansor.
It's a good one, but
that's a really good question.
Take a guess, folks. I don't think anyone's going to get this.
I'm going to somewhere in Asia. I feel like it's somewhere in Asia.
Someone said Japan. Susan Ingham said Japan. It's not Japan. Someone, Anika DeShield, says Fiji. Aunt Karen Simmons says China.
I was going to say China.
According to the History Channel, apples originated in Kazakhstan, which is known for its oil. I would have never guessed that. I thought it would have been an Asian country. That is Eastern Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
Because say it again.
Kazakhstan.
Stan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten. Yeah,
I believe it's next to.
Don't act like you know where it is.
No, you know how I first heard of Kazakhstan? That's where Bermuda once got it. It was oil. I don't know if Bermuda still gets its oil from, but it was an oil producing nation. Next to what's the country? Begins with a P, man. Pakistan. I think it's over by Pakistan and Russia, but it's next to Russia. I know it's next to Russia, but yeah.
All right, cool. Something new today.
Cool information, folks. Again, that's according to the History Channel. It's not me. It's the History Channel. All right. So you can take it up with the History Channel if you got to argue with someone. But Raj, let's wrap it up. This morning's discussion. How do we better support young people, and then obviously the Taste of Bermuda event?
I'm going to be really frank. I don't think we're doing enough as a country to support our young people. I do think that our young people too many of them feel disconnected from their community, and they're going to find ways to experience community and power in toxic ways. We have too much input from social media now. I mean, you always hear stories about when TV was switched on in Bermuda, right? And the social shift that took place when you had that input from America. Our young people have input from their phones now, and they see wild stuff. I mean, I was in the education system for a few years, and the things the kids would say and do, it was wild. It was absolutely wild. So if we don't think if we want to treat it like it's not an issue and downplay it, we're doing the wrongest thing. This is a real problem, and we are the adults in the situation. I think we need to humble ourselves to the realities of our young people and stop dismissing their experiences and start to be very intentional and proactive about how it is we connect with them and how it is we value them and understand them as a people, because I think we're missing the mark.
Yeah. How about Taste of Bermuda? You didn't got no final comments on Taste of Bermuda coming?
Oh, sorry. I forgot there were two things. No, my God, no. The city puts on amazing events. Their standard is incredible.
It is.
So, and it's so lovely that they're building on their experience and they've learned and they're executing at a higher level. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be amazing. I want a wacky waffle. Didn't even know that business existed in this country. I love waffles. I love to bake. That's my thing. I'm not exactly a saute flippity dippity person, but I love to bake. I love baking. So Taste of Bermuda sounds like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I agree with all you said regarding the young people about not doing enough. During my time in Bermuda, 2007 and 10, I mentored and I coached. The reason I did that stuff is I remember when my mother had put me in the Big Brothers program, there were not enough male mentors for me to be paired with anyone, right? So I just always made it a point to say I was going to mentor in some space. So I did YouthNet at the time. As far as coaching, my uncle was a coach. He was my coach, and I grew up in North Village. And so it was only right if obviously I didn't possess the skill or interest to play at that level or at that age. Why not just coach and give back what others gave to me? So I think those things can make a difference. They can make a huge difference in young people's lives. And it's not about football, right? It was about just teaching them to be good people, learning from losses and, managing ego when coming from wins, right? So we can play a role in young people's lives in so many different ways. And I think we all possess a skill. Some young people, you mentioned arts earlier. Some may want to get into this space. If bringing somebody into this space pulls them away from something detrimental to them, I'm all for it. So if you know a young person who may be struggling, see if there's something that you can do to offer them a path, a way out of what they may be experiencing. As far as Taste of Bermuda, I think you just said it. They take these events to another level. Props to the City of Hamilton team. They do the business. Their events sold out. I love to hear that, right? But I hope that people do get out and just, as she said, just spectate, see how it goes down so that you can be involved next year. Get involved. It's one of the best things that they do in Bermuda. You got some daily inspiration for us, Raj?
I do. from Mr. Rogers. The world needs a sense of worth, and it will achieve it only by its people feeling that they are worthwhile.
I like that. That really reflects the conversation this morning. All right, folks. Well, it's time to do what we have to do. So don't forget to subscribe on our website, dailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Metaverse, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Roger Denbrook. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.